Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. Today we have a special treat. We have another tax episode, which we are going to continue to dive in to the current tax laws and tax code that you all, we need to get a handle on. So without further ado, we're going to go right into it. Here we go. Everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast, your host of the number one podcast coming to you live in America. And today I have the incredible Mr. Ahmed Rana, aka the Baltimore Taxman. He has been serving the Baltimore City area and surrounding area for over the past 15 years. His friends and families and associates and business partners know him as King, affectionately called King. That's it. King. I love that. And he is motivated by assisting individuals and businesses and keeping their money in order from a tax filing perspective. His unparalleled knowledge of the tax laws and latest government process allows his clients to reap the best filing services available. Mr. Ahmed has also spent many years building a relationship with the citizens of Baltimore in the center of and heart of Baltimore City. He now only does taxes. He also takes the time to educate individuals and business owners about their money. That's what we're here for. We're here about the money and how to best utilize it to grow your small business. The Baltimore Taxman provides a variety of tax services for your individual or organizational needs. His primary services range vast from corporate law to sales tax law to real estate and required corporate documentation. So without further ado, we have coming to the stage the incredible, the amazing Mr. Ahmed Rana coming to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. Yay! Welcome. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for coming to the stage, Mr. Ahmed. I appreciate you. My audience appreciates you. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to help us with the tax law. As you know, a lot has changed this tax season. We've had a crazy 2020. And we need help. We need your help to navigate and survive this new tax code. So thank you for coming to the stage, sir.
Thank you so much, Marcus. And I love your show. The podcast you do, especially you bring different cultures, different guests from different variety of occupation. And this is the last time I think we did a show with Nodella.
We
And
did.
that day, when I met you, we had a virtual. Of course, we couldn't meet each other because of COVID. But since then, I think you are a good friend, and we keep in touch together. And I like that you're a good entrepreneur, and you are doing something not only just to make the money, but also the difference in the community. We all need to do and follow each other path. We all can be teacher and student of each other at the same time.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And you have been a great friend. And I follow you now on social media, and I look forward to growing with you and learning from you as you grow and as you continue to help. Although I'm not in Baltimore in a short amount of time, even on that episode that we did together, I learned a tremendous amount. So thank you for coming on the podcast today, because you offer tremendous value. So I want to jump right into it. There's a lot of changes and the IRS. I want to start here. I want to start at the PPP, right? That's the big thing. And a lot of businesses are getting hammered because they made mistakes with the PPP. They didn't do the right thing. And now it's time to allocate that money. They're now supposed to put that money somewhere, right? And so give us some advice on, does your company provide assistance for those businesses who took the PPP loan? And what are some things that people should be aware of if they applied or if they took that PPP loan money?
Okay, that's a very good question, and I love to answer that. But before, for the viewers, they must understand what PPP is. Payroll.
Yes.
So, what's the meaning of payroll for the employees? If you have an employee, and then it's a protection. But a lot of people, what they did, they use the PPP not to pay their employees. They use the PPP just to have their expenses. But
Mm.
to use the 75% PPP to payroll their employees because the government doesn't want to have a lot of unemployment. So they want to keep the same employees. So that's why they give you the PPP. So as an employer, you can pay for your payroll 75%. The 25% should go towards the rent, you know. But what we did, a lot of people made a mistake. They pay themselves or they use for their personal expenses, but it shouldn't be like that. Second thing is that PPP has a simple formula. If you have $2,000 net income per month, you have $24,000 for the whole year. So 24,000 divided by 12 will be 2,000 a month. So you multiply 2.5 by 2,000, which will be 5. 2 and 2 is 4, and then point 5,000. So as
Yes.
a small business owner, if your net income is 2,000 a month, you will multiply 2.5. That 5,000, 75%, the 4,000 has to go to PPP, and 1,000 has to go towards the rent. Now let's do the higher number. If you allow me, we have time, so I can do
We
it.
absolutely.
Okay. So let's look at the big companies, like medium companies. They must have like at least $10,000. The net income per month, like $120,000 net income for a whole year. So 120 divided by 12 again, which will be 10,000. In 10,000 multiplied by 2.5 will be 25,000. So 20,000 should go towards the PPP, and the rest of the 5,000 can go towards the rent. You can do 70, 30, or 60, 40, but a lot of people, they did 50-50. They shouldn't
Hmm.
done. They shouldn't use that money to pay the payroll. They shouldn't use that money to create the job. Why we are in disaster right now? Because so many people filed unemployment, and unemployment people are not picking up the phone because they are so busy, and there's a lot of fraud going on too. But as a normal person, they have to understand the PPP is for payroll protection plan, not the personal expense.
That makes sense. That makes absolute sense. We have the incredible Mr. Ahmed Rana on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, the Baltimore tax man himself, and that was impactful. So, is there any way? It's too late, right? Is it too late for businesses to fix that? Is there something from a tax perspective, or maybe something that they can do moving forward from it once they sign up with you, they work with you? Is there something they can do moving forward to prevent that from happening and correct that mistake?
Once you spill the milk, you cannot cry about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, of course, you can fix it. But now I think people should concentrate more on 2020 taxes. Instead of the let's talk about the personal taxes for people. A lot of people get employment 1099G. They're not bringing 1099G. So what I'm doing, I'm getting their username and ID, and I'm printing them in the office. Because if they're not going to show their income, their tax refund will be delayed. A lot of people didn't get stimulus. Everybody got the first one because the first one came from 2018 taxes. Whatever you put on your taxes, it came. But 2019 taxes where the second one comes. Then the mail delay happened. If you don't choose the direct deposit, they are mailing it. If you choose the bank product, meaning if you don't pay your tax preparer fee upfront, you get the loan or the use the bank product, then the money went to the bank, and then money went back again to the IRS. Then IRS mailed them, so it was delayed. Now this tax, I will encourage everybody to do your taxes as soon as possible because third stimulus about to come. When the third stimulus is coming, you don't want to be delayed and you don't want to be late. Try to pay your tax preparer the tax preparation fee upfront. So in that way, he can deposit the money. But a lot of time people don't have no money to pay upfront because people are not managing their money right. You getting the unemployment, you getting the benefit, and the unincome credit they have to use from the 2019 if they don't have any income. So they have to balance out. It's a lot of complication this year. This year is the worst year for the tax season for the tax preparers. And this year is not a year to go choose the accountant who are doing the business in the basement.
Mm.
Shady accountants.
Yes, yes. So that brings up an interesting point because do you recommend, and it sounds like you don't, but do you recommend this year? I think this is a year that you have to get with a certified tax professional like yourself with your company because TurboTax, I don't think, TurboTax, H&R Block, Liberty Tax, those aren't designated, those are seasonal workers. Those aren't certified professionals
They're not
who are
certified.
with the tax code.
Yes, I don't. I listen. It's simple, Marcus. For example, you know, I am might be a neighborhood services, but I have clients I did from Mississippi. I did a client from Massachusetts. I did client over of Maryland, Virginia. Because client look at my Facebook rating, the client look at my Facebook lives, the client look at my Google reviews. Like I wish I can show you my calendar. Like every day I take like 10 clients, but sometimes 15 shows up too. But we have a
Whew.
Peter Quinn in the office too, so she handles a lot of them. The two tax preparer who worked with me last year, they don't want to come back to work because of COVID-19. I don't mind handling all the work, but choose your tax preparer wisely. Do some research on it. You know, I always give free consultation, free estimate. So a lot of
Free.
yes, free estimate and free consultation because I want to satisfy the client. I want to make the money the right way. That's why Touchwood I have 400 plus clients. So every year is growing. But honesty is the best policy. Let the taxpayer know what exactly the taxpayer is going to get into. See, a lot of time the problem is that, back then people used to do taxes and there was no complication. There was no EIC, no due diligence. A lot of them used to do it on their own, like TurboTax and all that. But this year, you have to fill out the recovery rebate credit. Let's say if somebody get the first estimate check, they don't get the second one. So you have to enter that information so he can get the 2020 refund, the extra $600 for his kid as well.
Okay.
Second thing is that the EIC, there's a EIC, not the credit, the total income that they had in 2019. That income you have to put in this 2020 taxes as well. If you're not going to put that and you're just going to do the 2020, your refund might be delayed because the IRS wants you to calculate everything. So before we were spending like 30 minutes on each client, now we are spending hour and 15 minutes. If any tax preparer or an accountant spend less than an hour, that person might be not doing the right job. Then I have a lot of complaints from the big corporation. Big corporation have tax preparers, right? So big corporation tax preparers, they are seasonal, but every year they're not doing the continuing education course. They're not reading that. They just depend on the software too much because there's nobody there to teach them. But this year they shouldn't done the continuing education class. They should know because I have a lot of clients coming from Jackson, Hewitt. Let me just show you the one folder. See, Jackson Hewitt. So I have like 20 of them from Jackson Hewitt, 20 of them from Eastern Block. Because what the tax preparer making mistake over there, they're not doing the RRC credit for them. They're not doing the unincome credit worksheet for them. And plus, they're not filing the correctly because this year laws has been changed. So what's happening? A lot of time they got rejected from IRS. They're entering the data correctly. And when you get rejected from IRS, then you're like, for example, if you sign it, I don't let the client go out of my door until I give her or him acceptance letter from IRS.
Wow.
But a lot of them are so busy and sold out. So what they do, they just keep sending the files. They're not even letting, because of COVID, we cannot see too many people in the office. So what I'm doing, I'm seeing one by one. So I'm making an appointment. If a walk-in comes, if I have a time, I see them or I give them the appointment. But a lot of them are taking the walk-ins. So when the office becomes busier, you get frustrated and some of them cannot absorb the pressure. It's like when the Super Bowl happened, Tom Brady played good under the pressure. But the Patrick Mahomes couldn't play, So you need a big player for big game. This year, the tax season is a big game.
This is the year. This is the Super Bowl year. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. You all stay tuned. We have Mr. Ahmed Rana, the Baltimore Taxman. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, you guys.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
Hey everybody, we are back. This is Marcus Norman from the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have Mr. Ahmed Rana, the Baltimore Taxman Specialist, here to help us get to a better state. We've got a lot of money. He just went through the PPP loans and things that we can do, some tips and ideas to think about. Even if you have a tax professional or you don't have a tax professional, he's giving us some nuggets to think about and really vet that tax professional so we can get to a better place. And so now we're going into small business and what to do with all that money. We got stimuluses, we got PPP loans, we got one of the things that we got that. So a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts. And just like Mr. Neely said, that his tax guy is absolutely frustrated by all the challenges. It's intense. It's a lot of information. And that's why you have to connect yourself with a true expert who knows how to connect the dots and has his certifications and has the training. So, Mr. Ahmad, tell us, what are some things that when working with you, what are some documents that people should already have before they come to you for a good consultation?
Number one, they should have their ID, like the expired ID.
Yes.
They shouldn't went to get the ID, but if they have expired ID, a tax professional cannot e-file them and use the bank product,
Okay.
So second thing is that get all together your W-2s and then get 1099G as well, and then 1095-A. Last year, I looked into it, 2019, when they filed the taxes, they forgot their healthcare 1095-A. If you pay the money out of the pocket, then you must have 1095-A for your medical insurance, which delayed like 6 months almost for the 2019 refund. Third
Wow.
thing is that you should have a record that how much stimulus check did you get. See, a lot of time people take turns. Like, for example, 1 year, a child be dependent on the father. The next year, the child be dependent on the mother, which will create more conflict. Who gonna get the stimulus check and which person? Because see, if they did on the 2018, they got the kid and plus their stimulus check. But if they did on 2019, a mother did it and father did in 18, so father got the first one, but the mother got the second one. Now the third one is going to be fight because father wants to do it because they know the third one is coming almost $1,400 per person. But mother want to claim it because that's her. Father want to claim it because his turn now. So a lot of frustration over there. Second thing is that as a small business owner, I've been saying that and I've been teaching people for the last 15 years that 15 years of my time, I told them it's not a time to do just hairstyle, the babysitter, the construction. You must have an LLC, limited liability company. You must create you can create a paper trail by Cash App, you can trail a paper trail by Zelle, you can pay PayPal, bank accounts, prepaid, anything. The paper trail must be there because on 12 Maryland State are looking for a lot of audits. They are not allowing no more people if they don't have a paper trail. So what a lot of people used to do, they used to do in their house like hair stylish, okay, or hairs, right? They used to take the cash payment, but then they come in and they said, okay, you know what, we have this much amount we make, and of course the unincome credit comes in, additional child credit comes in, and they get a big refund.
Right.
But they starting auditing them, and I told them open a LLC. If you don't want to open an LLC, your trade name, get your EIN and open bank account so you can show the paper trail how much money goes in, how much money comes out. But if you are legit business and if you are making the money the right way, you should have a LLC, limited liability company. In case somebody sue you, it doesn't sue you personally, it can go to your company. And then you should have two accounts to make your accountant or tax preparer's job easily. One account should be operating, all the money in. One account should be expense, all the money going out.
Okay.
And if you have any contractor and any self-employment person and NEC, now they change it to NEC, non-employed contractor. If that person make more than $600, you must give him 1099. A lot of people don't do that. But
for my contractors?
Yes, like I give you example. If you have an ATM business, right?
Right.
Let's say if you hire somebody as a salesperson, that person make more than $600. last year for you, you must give him 1099 NEC, and
Okay.
you must show that 1099 NEC on Schedule C where it says non-employee contractor, so it will be tax write-off from your income. But a lot of people not doing that. A lot of people haven't been doing that because a lot of accountant and tax preparer doesn't like to create the accounting. But that's where the accountant comes in, not the tax preparer, because tax preparer doesn't know how to do 1099 NEC because they don't have the software,
Absolutely.
accounting software to create that.
Absolutely. So for each business, if a person, I want to break that down a little bit. For each business that a person have, you recommend to all your clients that they have a operating account and an expense account for each business.
Yes.
So,
See, Marcus, it's like simple. Like, let's say if you make $100,000, okay?
yep.
Do you like, let's just say construction, okay? You create a company, construction company, you make $100,000. You make a contract for 20,000, 5,000, 10,000, add it up to 100,000 after a year, right?
Right.
You're gonna have two accounts. So what do? You transfer the money for the expense, meaning you gonna hire the labor. So you can tell by expense account at the end of the year, this is my expense. 10,000, 100,000 I make, 50, 60,000 is my expense. So your net income gonna be automatically 40,000. In 40,000, you might end up gonna pay 8,000 to $10,000 taxes. But that way, the job will be easier because see, now unless you have a real accountant, you pay $100 a month for business, so he charges you $1,200 for a whole year. He's gonna do your accounting either by Excel, by accounting, by using the different programs. But if that you didn't hire the accountant at the end of the year, if you're gonna bring it to me 12-month bank statement, which will have 300 transactions, I won't have time to go over 300 transactions.
Right.
And a person minimum as a business owner have 300 plus transactions for a whole year. So I'm giving an example of the construction guy. He has to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to buy the material. He has to put the gasoline. He has to bring the lunch for the laborers. He has to pay his insurance. He has to, pay his car payment. This is 5 transactions already, right? So
Right.
if it's 3 transaction minimum he's doing, that's almost 5 days times 3 is 150 transaction. 150 times 12 is 1,800 transaction you playing with. Do you have time to play with 1,800 transaction at the end of the year?
No.
So
No, you don't.
bank accounts. So if you have 2 bank accounts, every month you can look at it. Okay, this was going in expense, and he must follow. He must pay from the expense account all the expense like his gasoline, his insurance, his advertisement, his website, his phone bill, labors, material buying, all that. And then a lot of restaurants are going out of the business. The restaurant is another, chapter.
True. So okay, so that's big, y'all. Separating the money, keeping the money separate, keeping your business expenses, and getting involved and getting connected to the tax professional early. You don't want to come in December and drop a shoebox full of receipts and documentation and bank statements on Mr. Ahmad's desk. That's significant. And so I want to touch on that. I want to touch on 2 things. You touched about dependents. So you don't advise anyone who is used to switching or go ahead.
I want you to look at this.
What is who is that? Is that the construction guy?
That's the bank statement from the construction guy.
No.
Yes.
Hell no. What in the world?
And let me show you transportation.
That's a lot better.
So
wait, that's the same business. Never mind.
no, one is a transportation guy.
Okay.
One is a guy. But see, the transaction guy bring me all these documents, right? But it make my job easier. Why? It has 2 bank accounts. So 12-month operating, 12-month expense. The transportation guy only bring me one bank statement for one account, 12 months.
Right.
Now, for me to do these 3 people, I will have spent less time on the construction guy because I have his 2 accounts. But I will spend more time on the transportation guy because now I have to go in each account, and every month I have to create an Excel or put an accounting software.
That is insane. So tell us, what do you recommend as a business owner? So they've come to you and they want to figure out whether it's best to file. Do you recommend businesses file quarterly taxes or annual taxes to avoid that confusion, to avoid all that mess?
It's depend on person to person. Let's say for the restaurant, I recommend they should do quarterly. But as a sole proprietor, like construction guy, like transportation guy, I recommend yearly. But what they should do their own accounting, because everybody is like computer genetic now, and everybody can use computer. There's apps on your phone too, and use the two different accounts. So at the end, it's easy to do monthly statement, a balance sheet at the end of the year. Profit and loss they should have for every month or every 3 months. Don't wait for to go to the accountant, because see, I am so busy with the individual tax returns. I'm not even gonna take the new businesses, which businesses I've been doing for years. I will do that one. But if new person comes to me and I see it's a lot of work, I'm gonna send him to somebody else.
Right.
Because if I put one like in one file for personal individual an hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, and if I'm working this 12 hours a day, I will be only to deal with 10 people. But
Okay.
for a business with 12-month bank statement, I need to put the whole day just for one account.
Wow.
So I have been working 7 days since this February 1st.
Wow. So what about mileage? What's the best way for a business to track mileage and so they can bring you something clean?
For the Uber drivers, for the Lyft drivers, I would always say do the gasoline, because calculate the gasoline is best for them. But if you're working in a job like salesman job, do the mileage. Because see, Uber driver why I say gasoline, because see, if he gonna only calculate the mileage to pick up a job and to drop the job, he gonna have a less mileage, because see, to pick up next job he might have to go 5 mile extra, which he won't be able to count. So that's why I say gasoline every day, whatever the gasoline you put, or every week, use one card. End of the month, that card should have your total, how much gasoline. At the year, should have total. And now, if you have a good credit cards like, Citibank or Capital or American Express, or, they give you the whole year summary. They even break down for you how much spend you money on grocery, how much spend money on your gasoline, how much telephone bill, and they give you that.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. What's some advice that you recommend or that you would give to a business owner in the audience to take their business to the next level? What advice would you give someone in the audience trying to do things the right way?
First of all, the person has to be honest to themselves if they really want to do that business. See, the passion is number one key. If you want to be anything, like for example, if you want to be an accountant, you must be good with numbers, and also you must be passionate with people. I don't do only income taxes. I also help the community with the creating a business, creating the wealth, and with consulting with the real estate and helping them with the mortgages. I even tell them what 2 years or 5 year plan they should be. I give you example. One person came to me, he said, how I can become a millionaire. I say, you can become a millionaire in 5 years. He laughed at me. He said, you kidding? I said, no. If you have $20,000, if you're making like 40,000 and you save like 20,000 a year, you buy the building for 100,000, you put 20% down, which is 20,000. The 80,000, your rent should be 12% cap rate, $1,500 a month, which is going to be around 18,000. The building should pay off itself in 5 years. So now 100,000 pay off in 5 years, right?
Right.
Once you have that 100,000, you can buy another building for $500,000. So 400,000. Now your rent should be around double it up. So 100,000 rent was 15. For 400,000, the rent should be 6,000 a month. So 12 times 6 is 72. In 5 years, your building should be paid off. Now you have $500,000. So you go to any bank, buy for $2 million, you just put $500,000 down. So you are a double millionaire, man, just in 10 years. But you become millionaire in first 5 years if you do the math correctly.
I love that. I love that. This gentleman is spilling the tea. Oh my gosh. What book would you recommend every man or woman should read, Mr. Ahmad?
The best book they should read when they wake up, look themselves in the mirror. That's the book they should read. How can I make better today? Don't worry about the past. You can change it. Don't worry about the future because you can plan it. Just worry about the present. Every day should be reading your own book by reading your own self. Like once you get up, read yourself. There's no books can teach you, man. There is nobody can help you unless you want to do on your own.
I love that. I love that. Great, great tips. How can my audience connect with you? How can they reach out to you? How can they find you so they can get their business on track?
Facebook is the best for social media and marketing. Baltimore Taxman and Baltimore Taxman 300 East 5th Street, Baltimore MD 21218. I always tell people don't call my cell phone. My cell phone rings every day, like more than 50, 100 calls. Text me and wait for me to get back to you. I might be busy with the client. It's the same way when you text me, I can automatically, get back to you, but you're not going to feel, you will be feeling bad if you sitting in my office and I'm answering my phone. So when somebody's in my office, I usually don't try to answer the phone. And I always tell people, just text me. I will get back to you. But if you're going to keep calling me, it's not going to get me, to call you back right away. I want to fix whatever I have on my table. Then I can move on because I don't want to make mistake because my mistake can cost my company $500 and my mistake can cost you $5,000.
Absolutely. I love that. Please connect with Mr. Ahmad. He's on Facebook. He's very brave. He's giving his cell phone number, but remember, text him, right? Text him. He has 10 clients a day and he has been running since January 1st and he's probably not going to stop until the next stimulus, hopefully. Mr. Ahmad, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you servicing my audience in this way. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on the show.
After so long.
Absolutely. And thank you all for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I hope this message has served you. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are on iHeartRadio, Apple, iHeart, Google Play, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and where all other media content can be absorbed. So my audience, like I always say, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast and Mr. Ahmed Rana signing off, the Baltimore Taxman. See you guys soon. Bye.